So next question is from now my audience is getting increasingly international. So I would like to apologize ahead of time for when I am butchering names. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. So next up, we have Ozan Rukaya on YouTube. It is a lovely video. Thank you. Thank you for your information. I would like to ask the amount of whirlpool hopping. We're talking hop forward beers. How much hops do you recommend for hazy IPAs and West Coast IPAs at the Whirlpool edition? Thank you very much. I recommend for hazy beers doing what you can afford to do. I will say that I prefer, I'm putting up a hazy IPA. I'm putting Sabo back up, which is kind of our standard IPA that we've had up most of the time there at Cartridge. I'm getting that beer back up, and we're looking at, I had 11 pounds of cryo. So you could also say like essentially 22 pounds there, 11 pounds of citric cryo and there's an 11-pound bag of T90 mosaic. So kind of the equivalent of 33 pounds in essentially 16 and a half, 17 barrels at that point. So about 2 pounds per barrel. You might hit some diminishing returns there. I would really suggest that you look at that hop survivables chart that Yakima Chief produced a few years ago, and make sure you're leaning on hops in the whirlpool that are well suited to use in the whirlpool. But really, I think you're going to want to probably have at least a pound per barrel, probably a pound and a half, and maybe up to 2 pounds per barrel there. And then I'm of the same mind with standard IPA. If I was going to rip a West Coast IPA tomorrow, dude, I would try to be slamming it in the whirlpool again, man. I don't know. I mean, I would be going a pound and a half for sure in the whirlpool. But everybody's equipment handles different things, and everybody likes different things with these beers. I like to try to make a beer that is really, those beers are in how I enjoy those beers is I do not want those beers to be about beer complexity. I don't want to be featuring malt. I don't want malt playing in there. I don't necessarily want little things here or there. I want a malt base that gets out of the way, that allows the hops to shine. That's how I like to make that style. And so that's how I make those styles. So yeah, I mean, I think both for, you might be able to go a little bit less with, more of a West Coast IPA. You might be able to go lower. I don't think you necessarily have to be up to 2 pounds per barrel, but definitely a good solid pound per barrel in the whirlpool. And then on the dry hop side, I mean, I'm just going to tell you what I do. I mean, I think West Coast, I think you're looking at least 2 pounds per barrel, maybe 3. I know some people are up in that range and sometimes even a little bit higher. But you might hit some diminishing returns. But I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in people that say there's no difference, because there's that one study where they did grams of Cascade and X amount of liters, and all these different things. There's still a quality that comes from that elevated level of dry hop. All right. I think there's a density to the flavor and aroma. And I'm gonna horn toot a little bit. I was really excited. I checked out Sabo as we moved it to the Bright Tank today, and you're always working on beers, and I feel like there's this density in the aroma, right? Like it's fruity, but it's also like deeply like, there's this deeply like floral, like geranium thing going on as well. And I was just really pleased with it. So that's kind of the way I would be approaching Whirlpool with both of those beer styles. For hazy, I would just be going Whirlpool. Maybe something with a little boil on it, but I mean, I don't think you really need to unless you're trying to bolster a little bit more robust bitterness on that beer. And then, yeah, I mean, on the dry hop side for hazies, I think you're looking at, a lot of people are doing between, 4 and 6 pounds. Some people do more. Some people do less. I think if you're trying, I think if you're trying to, in my mind, you're always trying to make something great. And I think you might need to be in that 4-pound range. Maybe you like it more at 2, 1, whatever, 6, 8, whatever. But I think you need to be in that 4-pound range. That's my gut on that. So yeah, that's my take on hopping those two Whirlpool styles by volume, both in the Whirlpool and on the dry hop side. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.